So just so you know, I am going to record this. If you don't want to be recorded or shown, feel free to mute your video. But welcome again to the accepted students. It's wonderful to have you here. We hope that we can answer any final questions you might have about our program in order to help you make an informed decision as you kind of get to the next stage. So as I said, I think some of you may have joined a little bit late, so I just want to reiterate, my name is Dr. Elizabeth O'Neill. I'm the undergraduate program director for the Applied Exercise Science major. I teach a variety of classes within this program, so sometimes I teach the Intro to Exercise Science class, so I get to meet students in their very first semester, which is always fun for me to get to know them right out of the gate. But then I also teach exercise physiology. I've taught biomechanics in the past, and I teach our senior level course, which is exercise testing and prescription for special populations. So I have students pretty much from their first year all the way through to their senior year at different time points. So I'm excited to have a couple of our students on the call here to introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their experiences here within our exercise science program. So I'll actually start out by just giving names, and then I'll have you each introduce yourself. If you could tell the accepted students where you're from, which area of exercise science you think you're most interested in pursuing after school. And Eileen, you're in a little different situation being that you're already in grad school. And we'll kind of go from there as far as I'll throw out some other questions for you. And then if any of our accepted students have questions, feel free to either unmute yourself if you're comfortable doing that, or you can post the questions in the chat function and then I can just read them off to our current students. So Peyton, we'll start with you.
I'm Peyton. I'm currently a junior, and I think I want to go into research physiology after I graduate, and I'm from Maryland.
Okay, JT.
Hi, I'm JT, and I'm a junior from New Jersey. And I'm more interested in like the coaching sports performance side. So I have a coaching minor as well. And I'm on the cross country and track and field team.
Great. And Eileen.
Hello, my name is Eileen. I actually graduated from the exercise science program in 2019, and I'm currently at Springfield getting my doctorate in physical therapy. So I ended up going that track with exercise science.
All right, great. So to start off, I'm happy to open it up to any questions that the accepted students have, but I also have some questions to get the ball rolling. So if you want to throw your questions in the chat or unmute yourself, feel free to do that. But if our student panelists maybe could start out by kind of just talking on the topic of why Springfield College. What did you see when you came here on your visits? And I know hopefully Parker and Kate, you get an opportunity to come to campus, or there is a beautiful virtual tour available online if you want to check that out to see our campus and what it looks like. But what did you all experience when you came, and what led you to choose Springfield College?
So for me, when I first visited, I really liked the atmosphere of Springfield. I knew that I wanted to go to kind of like a smaller school, but one that wasn't like so small I felt kind of constricted, and Springfield was like the perfect size for that. There's enough room where you can do a lot of different clubs and activities and stuff like that, but within the actual exercise science program itself, you still get that one-on-one attention from the teachers because the program's pretty small. So you pretty much know everyone in your class, which is cool, and then all your teachers know you. So for me, that was like Springfield was the perfect size.
I think I had a very interesting experience when I first visited Springfield because I actually really did not know much about the college. It was kind of just something my mom wanted to go visit, so I was happy to do it. And I actually did go to an open house, and I met some teachers and I met some students, and I was just really blown away by the atmosphere and like the way that people treat each other and the way the collaboration goes in classes and in projects and stuff. So I really didn't know anything, but I was just blown away from visiting.
I also really like the small feel, like when I was visiting here, and like how athletic and like just the different population that this school like attracts. But also when I was visiting other schools, I actually was talking to one of the exercise science advisors, and they happened to go to Springfield, and that was when I decided at a different school that I wanted to go to Springfield.
That's actually pretty funny. All right. My next question is, what drew you to the field of exercise science?
So for me personally, I didn't really know what I wanted to do straight out of school. Like, I knew I wanted to work with people and I wanted to help people better themselves. And I loved like anatomy and learning about the body and stuff, but I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do it. So exercise science was perfect because it introduced me to a whole lot of information about the body, exercise, all that, but you also learn like kinesiology and physiology. And then by the time that I was like a junior, senior, I realized that I wanted to do physical therapy, and I had all of the foundational knowledge that I needed to transition right into PT school. So it was like perfect just to give me kind of more time to figure it out, but I still learned like everything that I needed to learn.
So
I always had a big love for sports and for science, but I didn't really know where you could take that. So then when I found exercise science and I found something that's so versatile and gives you so many options, I was just really blown away with it. And Springfield's program is just like second to none in that field. So that's why.
Yep. I was gonna say the same thing. Like I originally wanted to be a physical therapist, but I wasn't like 100% like set on that. So I figured exercise science, like I've done sports my whole life. I love being active. But also like getting that general overview of everything. And then I decided that physical therapy isn't for me. So this was like the perfect route to take for me.
So, and I don't know if either of you are interested in physical therapy, either Parker or Kate. Just so you're aware, our existing curriculum for the requirements for our major don't have all of the prerequisites built into preparing students for graduate school for a DPT. However, like what Eileen did, we have a clinical track that you can choose, which provides you an outline of all the curriculum that you would need to include in your time here in order to fulfill the requirements for a DPT program. And we've had many students do that. I'm not going to lie, it's a lot of workload. Eileen can attest to the fact that, it's a heavy academic load. You're taking a full year of Gen Chem, a full year of general physics. You're doing bioscience and human anatomy in addition to our program classes. So it is important, if you have an interest in pursuing a degree in physical therapy, that you let us know that before you even start here, because during the summer months, that is when we do our advising for first year students coming in. And actually, I generally meet with quite a few of the students and other faculty in our department, also volunteer to advise. So you'll be meeting with one of us, which is nice. And if we know that you want physical therapy, we'll kind of ask you some background questions to make sure it's a good first step for you as far as the class selection. And then we can get you into some of those courses right off of the start so that you're not behind, and making sure that you get all of them completed before you graduate. Some students who come in not sure if they want DPT will start out with our standard curriculum, and that's fine. But if you want to complete all of those prerequisites for DPT, it may require that then you take a course over the summer or something in order to kind of get caught up, just so that you're aware of kind of how things are laid out in our program. But the nice thing is you do get to meet with us in the summer for advising and kind of talk to us about the program in more detail for course selection for your first year.
Do either of you know what you want to kind of do in exercise science, or your thoughts? What are you thinking, Parker?
I'm between owning a gym and becoming a strength coach. I haven't really decided between those two yet.
Well, you could mix the two, right? Like you were at Coach Dr. Fight's presentation last class, right? Were you there?
Yeah, I was in the last class.
Yeah. So Dr. Fight actually did her graduate work in strength and conditioning here at Springfield College, did her master's, and then went on and worked in collegiate strength and conditioning for a few years. And then her and her husband, Adam Fight, who is also here, they ended up opening a facility in New Jersey called RIPT. And they combined their knowledge from strength and conditioning, because Adam was also a strength coach, both in the collegiate and then the professional settings for college or for collegiate football and then professional football. They opened their own private sector facilities. So they use their knowledge and experience having worked with collegiate teams and being in the trenches in there to then working and kind of transitioning that into a privately owned business, which was a neat opportunity. And then now they're both back here working at Springfield College, which is a huge asset to us because they know so many people in the field and have so many network connections for us and for our students for internships, which is awesome.
My internship right now is at a place in West Springfield with a guy named Steve Conca, and he owns the gym and is, you know, like a certified strength and conditioning coach. And he has, you know, anyone from middle school up to like an older population come in through the gym, and he coaches, you know, all of them hands on, and he owns the facility as well. So it's definitely possible. And it's, you know, and I get to work with him, you know, as a junior, I get to be there and see it. So that's a really cool experience.
Also going to say our on-campus practicum class, we get to go into our like strength and conditioning place, and you get to see different teams and like what they do, and definitely like ask them a whole bunch of questions. And it's so awesome to like see it like in live time, like happening and everything.
Yeah, and the strength coaches that we have here working with our teams, in addition to our professional strength coaches that are faculty, we have a number of graduate assistants who've been out in the field working in strength and conditioning and are back here to get their master's degree in strength and conditioning. So they have a wealth of knowledge and experience that our students can kind of pull from as well. So it's a great opportunity to kind of learn and grow from people that have been working in the field for a number of years. So you've kind of touched on internships. You guys want to maybe talk a little bit about the internship experiences?
So because I was PT, I kind of did mine a little bit differently, or because I knew I wanted to go into PT, I did mine differently. So I did my first one over the summer so that I could keep my class, like my school year, open. And I did it back home, and I did it like going into my junior year, and I worked with like the general population. The gym I actually worked at was both of the trainers were exercise physiologists, so we took like blood pressure and did like different things that you don't necessarily see every day. And then my big 400-hour one I did locally so that I could take classes at the same time. So like Dr. O'Neill said, going PT is definitely a lot of work if you do want to do it, but it's 100% doable. And thankfully she was there the whole way to like make sure my classes were online and I could do my internship and classes at the same time. So it's definitely possible, and I still had a great experience even doing classes at the same time.
The internships are like kind of the thing you are always thinking about, you know, as a freshman and as a sophomore, because you're like so excited to actually take the knowledge you've learned in class and put it into the real world in like an applied setting. So being able to do both a 90 and a 400-hour off campus or on campus and have the support of not only your faculty advisors, but the people at your internship is just really amazing. And it just gives you a really great opportunity to get your like first real experience in whatever you want to do, whether that's strength and conditioning or something more clinical, but you just get a great first experience.
So because of COVID, my internship is a little weird this semester. So it's like partially virtual and partially like in person, but I'm doing mine at USARIUM, which is a military research facility. And it's been awesome just to like make those connections out in the field. And like JT said, like using the knowledge that you've learned in your exercise phys class, in your anatomy class, and like put it to the test in real like careers that you might want to go into.
So just so you know, we have two off-campus internships built into our program. We have one that's in our junior year typically, and that is a 90-hour internship off campus. And there are opportunities if you needed to do one on campus to do one on campus as well. But most of our students take advantage of the opportunity to check out different facilities off campus. And then we have a senior level internship, which is typically done spring of senior year, although we can work around that if we have a spring sport athlete and they want to be able to, go work with a team or institution that's out west or what have you, or down in Florida and go somewhere really, really warm. There are opportunities to travel for your internships typically. So if students want to be able to do that in the fall semester because they're a spring sport athlete, we've been able to do that and arrange their curriculum appropriately. They just have to work with their advisor to make sure that they have all the necessary curriculum done to be eligible. But most students do it spring of their senior year for their 400-hour internship. That is like a full-time job pretty much. You're working at your facility quite a bit and getting a lot of really great hands-on experience, and it really prepares our students for employment as soon as they're done, which is nice. And that's one of the reasons why our program is very successful, is because students are already prepared to do the job as opposed to having to be trained once they graduate. And a lot of our students actually get job offers right out of their internship. So it's a good opportunity in that regard. We also have a professional development course, which Peyton was mentioning, which is called On-Campus Practicum. And that course is to give students a little bit of exposure to some different types of exercise science environments that we have on campus to help you kind of decide what direction you want to go for your internships. And then we also do some career preparation as far as getting your cover letters and resumes ready for internship applications and things of that nature. So you also, now your group of incoming students will be doing CPR in that course as well. So it's a great opportunity to get you prepared for your internships and then transition in your junior year into the experiences. And I would say probably the best experience students have are through those internships, just because it's such a light bulb moment for a lot of them, really seeing everything come together and learning from not just us, but people in the field who are doing it every day, which is a great opportunity for them, and the opportunity for them to go anywhere they want. So a lot of students take advantage of the opportunity to travel and go a little further from campus out west, or Colorado, Florida, down south somewhere. So it's kind of a cool opportunity to experience something completely different. There is also the opportunity to do internships in the summer if that's your desire. However, those are separate from your regular semester tuition, so you do have to pay for those credits separately in the summer. All right, we're almost out of time, so I just wanted to open it up. If you have any questions for our students or for me about the program, I'm happy to answer anything you might have.
I do have one question. It's about the tracks for the applied exercise science major.
Mm-hmm.
If I did a sports performance track and then like midway through my freshman year, I wanted to switch to the fitness management one, would I be able to do that?
Yes, so you're able to, and I usually recommend to students, if they're considering a track, start taking some of the 100 or 200 level classes within your first year as elective classes to see if it's really what you want. And then as you progress, you can kind of fine tune what you decide which track you want to go down. Any other questions? No? All right, well, thank you both for joining us. It was a pleasure to meet you. I hope we get to see you here this summer and in the fall. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. I'll throw my email in the chat in case you wanted to follow up with anything.
I did have one more question. I'm not sure if you have the answer to it though. For Accepted Students Day on like April 11th, will that be in person or will that be virtual as of right now?
I believe everything at this point is still being planned as virtual, unfortunately. If you go back to the main room, Dell, who organizes all of the events through our academic admissions department, she could answer that for sure, just to make sure I'm not telling you the wrong thing. We are open for tours, however, if you wanted to book a tour on campus. And I've actually met students, if you say that you're an accepted student for exercise science, they'll contact me, or you can ask for them to set up a meeting with me, and that way I can meet with you in person and show you our lab spaces and things like that. So you get an opportunity to see facilities that you wouldn't normally see on a traditional tour. Okay, So I threw my email in the chat. Please feel free to, follow up with any questions you have, or if you are planning to make a visit to Springfield College and you want to use my email to reach out and let me know, and we can schedule something. So hopefully we can meet up when you do visit. That'd be great. Thank you
Awesome.
for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it. Kate, do you have any questions? I'm happy to answer anything you might have.
As of right now, I don't have any questions,
Okay,
but I have your email.
awesome. Well,
So
thanks
I'll
for
reach out
joining
if I
us.
do. Thank you.
We'll talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your week.
You too.